Hey guys, it's me Sky again, and welcome to another video. And today we're going to do another technology review. What we're focusing on today is ZoomText Fusion. I'm sure most people have at least heard what ZoomText is, but for those of you who don't know, ZoomText was at least a screen magnification program where you can magnify your screen to enormous amounts. You can use this on the internet, you can magnify documents, you can change the color and stuff like that. So ZoomText Fusion, what we're particularly going over today is ZoomText Fusion 10.1, is where ZoomText has fused with Window Eyes so that the program now is not only a magnification program but also a screen reader. So the idea behind ZoomText Fusion is that for those who are slowly losing their vision, they are able to transition over from magnification software to screen reading software, and the transition should be very nice and subtle because you can slowly turn on your screen reading settings and slowly phase out the magnification settings. Or, if you're like me, you just use both settings, and whenever they're useful to you, sometimes the screen reader helps and sometimes you don't need it. So I'm going to go over everything that ZoomText Fusion has in it today, and I think you guys are probably going to think it's pretty cool because this is one of the top leading, at least magnification softwares for low vision users out there for using computers. And I think that this program, even though it is very new, the Fusion, I think it has a lot of really cool potential and it's very useful in terms of screen readers. So let's get into it. Okay, so first off, in this video you're going to see me switch between clips of actually using the software on my laptop and me talking about it. So you're hopefully going to be able to get a bit more of a hands-on approach of how this program works. So you need to know that ZoomText Fusion works as kind of a toolbar at the bottom of your screen. When you launch the program, you can set it to launch on startup of your computer so it launches automatically, or you can just click the ZoomText icon on your desktop, or you can go into your files and find it there. But once you launch the program, you're going to have this toolbar. You need to keep the toolbar open. If you shut the program, of course, ZoomText is going to stop working. So you always have to have this open. How it works is you're going to see at the very top of the toolbar, you're going to have different areas to focus on. So first of all, we're going to see the magnification area. Now, under the magnification settings, you have type, color, pointer, cursor, and focus. Now, each of these do a different thing for you. Before I say anything else, I'm going to tell you two really useful shortcut keys. If you hold down your left Alt key and then the plus key at the right of your keyboard together, you're going to be able to zoom in and increase that magnification. If you hold down the Alt key and the minus key together, you'll be able to zoom out and decrease the magnification. You can also, as you see, mess with the magnification in this actual magnification setting and make the screen bigger or smaller that way, but you're going to notice with this program there are a lot of shortcut keys. And the more you learn the shortcut keys, the more streamlined this program will become to you. So just a heads up, the power setting is for the magnification. Of course, the up arrow means that it's magnified more and the down arrow means it's magnified less. The type setting that you're seeing here is actually for the different types of screens. So if someone was using 2 or 3 different screens, ZoomText would need to know where to use its magnification on and where not to. So you can set which screens the magnification is working on. So it's pretty much for multi-monitors. The color is for your screen color, of course. So you're going to be able to change your contrast and colors with this. Me personally, I like a white on black, but you also have multiple colors, as you can see here, that you can test out and pick whichever works for you. Now, ZoomText Fusion, I should mention, works on everything to an extent, which means a lot of programs, they'll only work, say, when you're in Windows, but as soon as you go into a internet browser, the program will stop working. I am going to get into a little more what this program works with and what it doesn't work with. It works with almost everything. There's just a few things to be aware of, which I'll touch after I go over the different settings and everything in this program. Your pointer is your mouse. So this program has the ability to customize your mouse so that it can stand out for you, so that you can find it. A lot of us with low vision, of course, lose the mouse. It goes somewhere on the screen and we can't find it. So you can customize the outline of the mouse, the color of the mouse, the shape of the mouse. You can pretty much make it so that it's easy to find for you. I like to make it nice and big so that it stands out, and I also like to change a bit of the outline and stuff like that. But yeah, whatever works for you, you can change here. The cursor is actually what you use when you're typing with text. The cursor is, of course, when you're in a text field or a text window, and that little blinky thing, that's where you're typing, that's the cursor. And you can also change it to make it, again, more apparent to you so that you can see where you're typing. I like my cursor to stand out a lot, of course, because I like to know where I'm typing at. Technically, it's the same as the pointer. The cursor can be changed and customized so that you can see it and find it much easier. Now, the focus is pretty cool. The focus is when you are highlighting something or when your program is reading it to you, or pretty much whatever you're looking at the moment, whether it be text or a link or a navigation field or a table, the focus is going to highlight that for you. So this is what you tell the program to do with the text or the item that you are currently using or looking at, so that it becomes, again, more apparent to you. This program is all about finding things, seeing where you're at, knowing where you're at, not getting lost. A lot of this is highlighting, making a border around where you're focused at, changing the colors maybe. Just again, it's for customization of where you are at on the screen. And of course, it is quite useful for not getting lost and seeing where the program is reading, especially for those of you who are using a screen reader and you need to know where you're at. So next, we're looking at the finders. The finders are really neat because they help you not get lost again. So if you're having trouble seeing what's on your screen or finding something, the finders are going to find it for you. You have one that can find things on your actual windows, so it not only is this for the desktop, but it is also for if you're looking for a certain document in Windows, you can use this finder. The web finder is if you're on a certain web page and you need to find something there, for instance, a link, you can look for that text that the link has and be able to find it, or you need to find a certain table. You get the gist. It finds stuff on your active web page. The text finder is pretty much if you're in any other open document and you need to find something there. For instance, if you have a Word document open, you need to find certain words in that document and you just can't locate them visually, use the finder and you will find them. Very, very useful. So that is nice for navigating different programs, and it's also nice that it has different finders for all these different applications and stuff, because a lot of programs just wouldn't have it or just wouldn't work with those programs, but ZoomText will work with all of them, so that is very nice. Next up is our reader. Our reader is where we start getting into a little more of the different screen reading opportunities that this program offers. To an extent, we can customize this reader so that for those of us with low vision that don't need a full screen reader, we can use some of the settings. The settings in the reader are speech, rate, typing, mouse, verbosity, app reader, doc reader, zones, and speak it. So the last ones I mentioned there are more screen reader related, but you'll see that in a second. Your speech is really who is talking at the moment. You really only have two options here, a male voice or a female voice. I do find that the actual voices in ZoomText Fusion are pretty nice compared to a lot of other screen readers I've seen out there. I wish there was a little bit more of a variety that you could choose from, but as long as these work and they sound good, then I'm happy. Your rate is how fast your speech is talking to you. A lot of you guys, I'm sure, have noticed that people who are veterans of using these programs have their computer talk extremely fast to them and you can read hundreds of words a minute. That's because their rate is super, super high and they've gotten really good at listening to it and understanding what it's saying. Rate is just technically how fast it's talking to you, and it's nice because as you get better at this, the faster the rate can go and the faster you'll be able to navigate things, read things, and get things finished and done with. So for school or work or something like that, keep turning this guy up as you get more used to the program. It's going to save you time. Typing is what you want it to read back to you when you're actually working on your keyboard. It can read back to you each key or maybe each word that you're typing. I usually personally don't like to have my typing echo back to me, but some people really do, especially if you can't see the keyboard and you want to know which keys you're pressing or make sure you're pressing the right keys. Typing is useful for that. So this just echoes what you're typing. The mouse setting on here is related to what your mouse is hovering over. For instance, if you don't know what something is and you want to figure it out, you can set it so that if your mouse hovers over it for so many seconds, say 4 seconds, then it'll read it to you, which is nice because sometimes you do know what you're looking at, especially for those of us who do have some vision, and we don't need it to read everything to us. We just need it to read 2 or 3 items that aren't visible for us because the text is too small or the contrast isn't visible or something like that. So you just set how long you want your mouse to hover over something before the program reads it back to you. I really like this because sometimes screen readers just go way too crazy reading everything to you at once, which isn't fun. So yes, hover is very, very useful for that. The next option is verbosity. Verbosity is how much you want your program to speak to you. Do you want it to say every single thing that's on the page? Do you want it to just say certain objects that are on the page? Do you want it to speak every single URL? Do you want it to only say a few specific things that you are unable to see visually? Verbosity helps you from going crazy again from your screen reader talking about every single little thing that it sees. Even people with no vision can go crazy with these screen readers reading every single teeny tiny piece of information. Whole URLs are way too long to read, guys. So your verbosity is where you adjust that. Now we're really into the interesting part of this section because we're onto the different readers. And this is definitely more of the full screen reader, and I find it very useful. Even though I am able to read my computer screen with the magnification settings, it saves a lot of eye strain and helps me a lot visually when I just have it read to me, especially if it's a very large document. That's going to be very, very hard on my eyes. So the readers are very useful. First off, we have the app reader. The app reader is going to read you everything that was on the window of your last active application. Usually you use this for things like Word documents and stuff like that. Your app reader is going to take that last active application, whatever it was, and read everything that was on there. The doc reader is very similar to the app reader, except it puts whatever was in your last active application or whatever you've selected into a very easy to see, easy to work with text field so that your text is big, your text is right in front of you, it lays it out nicely, and you are able to do nothing but just read that text. You don't have to navigate, you don't have to figure out where you are on your computer screen or what's happening. All it does is take the text, plop it down there, and let you read it. More accurately, really, it reads it out to you. Next is zones. Zones help you to create and edit and navigate reading zones. So you can go into applications and you can set things up so that they're more user-friendly to you. This is mainly if you're just using your screen reader and you need help navigating certain pages that are just not working with you. The zones are going to make things much more user-friendly, and you can go back to where you've made your zones and see what's happening there. And it's really just easy to navigate with zones because you're creating a path that you can follow again and know what was happening in your application or on your web page, things like that. And last but not least, we have Speak It. Speak It's really cool. If you are just done and you can't figure out what's going on, you don't know what is on your screen, you really need help figuring out what that text says, you just go to Speak It. It will technically take whatever was on your screen in your last active application, and whatever you hover over, it will say what it is. Speak It is really, really nice when you are lost and you don't know what that thing is. Say you're on a web page and there's something really small and you can't see it. You just click on Speak It and it doesn't change anything. It doesn't take you anywhere new. All it does is if you hover over whatever that was with your Speak It tool, it will read it to you. It'll read anything on your screen at the time.